Good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you're YouTube. So this is kind of one of our new rider series videos. I was really going to do a bit of a follow-up. So we've discussed bike types for new riders and good things to learn on, and it's got me thinking about other options after you've passed your test. So this is actually a CBR600F4. My whole family is into or have been into bikes. This one actually belongs to my cousin, and being the spanner monkey of the family, I get tasked with MOTing it for her, which we've just gone through, an inspection's passed, which is always nice. But yeah, this really brought me to think of something that we find people often have a bit of a conundrum. They pass their test, they thought they're suitable first bike and pass their test, and after their test they don't really know what to get, and there's a lot of bad advice out there. There's a few mistakes you can make and a few things that will make your life a lot easier, and one of the things, it's not quite such an issue in Europe, but over in America a lot of people just say go straight onto a 1000cc bike, so that will only go as fast as you open the throttle. That in essence is true. That is the governing factor of how fast the bike goes, but actually it's not the big problem. Now the problem you're going to get is not going, because like you say, if you don't open the throttle much the bike won't go. But the problem with the 1000cc bike is they come with brakes suitable for 1000cc bike speeds, and it's quite easy for a novice rider to get spooked by something, panic and grab a handful of brake like they would have done on a learner bike. What that's going to do is going to lock up the front wheel and put you on the ground so fast it'll make your head spin. In fact, there is footage on YouTube of people doing exactly that. There was a guy on a Kawasaki Ninja 600, and all of a sudden out of nowhere there's like a bang and he's on the floor, and he got up, he's like, oh, I braked thinking I was on my 250, and what he'd done, he just grabbed a big handful of front brake and put himself on the ground. And really a good bike for passing your test, or straight after your test, is one of the mid-90s or early 2000s 600s. I mean, this is 2000 model CBR600, and so it's got just over 100 horsepower, which is enough for anybody. The only time you may find you need a little bit more power is if you're doing a lot of two-up work, but you shouldn't be doing that straight out from your test anyway. You should give yourself a little bit of time to gain some experience before you take a passenger. But this, for a solo rider, is absolutely on the money, and they can be picked up nice and cheaply. The other thing you've got to remember is it's important not to just go out and blow all of your budget. And when we did the new rider video on types of first bike, I mentioned there that you need to split your budget up between training, your bike and your gear, sort of leathers or textiles, whatever it is that you want to ride. With buying a second-hand bike, you again want to split your budget up, but it's going to be a little bit different this time, and that's because you want to spend, say for example, £1,500 on your bike or £1,000 on your bike. I mean, 1,000, somewhere around 1,250 will get you a good CBR600F3 or F4, and that's perfectly adequate. It's a very good bike, but budget, even if they look sort of okay, budget for tyres, chains and sprockets as well. The reason I say that is that a decent 600 that's just had those things new will ride really well. It's also worth checking over your steering head bearings and giving the suspension a service as well, with things like new fluid in your forks, and that's going to give you a bike that's going to feel confident on the road and not need any further spend for a little while. But it's important to remember there are two things that go wrong with tyres. It's not just wearing the tread out. Bikes often become Sunday toys, and as a result cover very little mileage. So a lot of bike tyres can be 6 or 7 or 8 years old by the time they're actually worn out, and that will have a seriously detrimental effect on the handling of the bike. So it's worth noting that even if the tyres aren't actually worn out in terms of tread depth, you might be looking at new tyres on basis of age. So have a look at, there's a mark on tyres called a DOT or a dot stamp. Have a look at that. That'll tell you when the bike was, or the tyre was manufactured, and that'll be a 4-digit number, say 1715 or 1715. That would tell you the tyre was manufactured in week 17 of 2015. Now that tyre's going to be fine. But if you got, say, 2008, that's week 20 of 2008, that tyre really now is only fit for the scrap bin, even if it looks and feels perfectly. Even if the tyre feels pliable to the touch, I would not trust a tyre that's 10 years old. And I would certainly be wary about fitting one or riding on one, even much after about 6 years. Some people say, oh, 2 years and they're going off. No, that's not true. But I think by the time you get near double digits, it's definitely time to consider new tyres. And frankly, it's worth remembering that a good, new, fairly cheap tyre like a Maxus will always outperform an older, slightly hardened premium tyre. So just because it might be a Pirelli Demon or Diablo or something like that, if that Diablo's 6 or 7 years old, especially if the bike's being kept outside, the new Maxus is going to feel better, it's going to be more pliable. If the bike's being kept permanently in the garage, it's not so bad because they don't deteriorate quite so badly. It's UV light that does it. But yeah, so that's really the crux of it. Save a little bit of your budget, spend on new tyres, chain and sprockets and a service, get the bike absolutely up to speed, and something like this well, now 17-year-old CBR600 will be a perfect bike for you for quite a long time. I've been riding 22 years and I actually, as a preference, like early 200600s. They've got a bit more mid-range than newer 600s. They're a bit more easy to ride, they're a little bit softer and less aggressive, and with 100 horsepower they've got plenty of performance. So these are really great options. Plus you've got absolutely legendary Honda reliability. There really has been very few better bikes. Another great example, if you're a larger rider and you want something a bit bigger and heavier, would be the VFR 750, and that's got a wonderful gear driven camshaft or gear cam driven V4 in it, which sounds and feels fantastic and has plenty of power. If you hear people saying, oh well, 600's not got enough power, you'll get bored with it in a week, either they don't know how to ride it or they're talking complete nonsense. So what do you think? What was your first or your favourite bike or your recommended bike straight after passing your test? Did you go with the 600? Did you go straight to 1000? I know there'll be a lot of people saying, oh well, I went straight to an R1 and I was fine. Well, there will be a lot that are, but there'll be some that aren't, and that's the whole point. Build up your skills gradually, you'll enjoy it a lot more. But yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. This feels so much better with air in the tyres. Who'd have thought? It feels really nice.